you're guaranteed a good game.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, both top-class dart players. Loads of experience, and I really am looking forward to this. It's going to be a really good game of darts. I think going to be a right old-fashioned dust-up coming in.
Well, that's how Hammer certainly like. In fact, how they both like it. Real street fighters are darts players.
James has got this knack of just grinding out a real good solid win, and obviously so has Andy. So
first leg, James,
that could prove important winning the ball. Rock, paper, scissors. Go.
Yeah, well, let's hope the standard of the game is better than the standard of handshakes. James Wade with the advantage of throwing first. A place in the last 16 against either Benito Vanderpas, who was one of these standout performers in the first round, or Michael van Gerwen, the world #1.
Well, what did I say last week, Dan, about Ben? He's been playing ever so well lately, and he went up there and absolutely smashed poor Antonio last night, didn't he?
He really did.
Oh,
he
yesterday
really did.
afternoon. And top player, he really is. He's really coming into it.
Yeah. A 6-0 whitewash of Antonio Alcinas, the Spanish dart player, and an average of nigh on 105 for Benito Vanderpas.
And Antonio is no pushover. Great little dart player, and Benito just brushed him aside, didn't he?
Yeah, well, people will probably remember Antonio from back at the World Cup of Darts when they produced the shock of all shocks at the tournament. Him and Carlos Rodriguez knocking out Phil Taylor, the England team.
And Scotland, I think, didn't they, the game before?
They did. It was some run. Oh, the Hammer has stolen the darts here.
Yeah.
And he'll be looking to get off to a good start. If you had a look at these guys' form of late, Hammer actually won a tournament near the start of the year, a UK Open qualifier. Since then, not really done a great deal. However, you can see he may be growing his beard, but he's trying to shrink his belly a bit. He's out walking every day. He wants to get a bit fitter.
He needs to with Blackpool coming up, that's for sure. But saying that, I mean, it's very hot up there, so it's not a lot different than being in the match play up on that stage. But Andy, he does enjoy his walking, doesn't he? And good on him. You've got to be fit these days.
Well, I think he's recently got a dog. He's out walking 3 or 4 miles every day. I used to see him at the match play. He'd go and walk all the way around Blackpool every day with his iPod in. It was just a part of his routine for the day. And he's set this up here for a potential 14 darter on the Wade throw. And unless James finds a treble here, he's not going to be putting any pressure on at all.
No, it's important. Yeah, that was really important there to hit a 54 double 8. Yeah. Here we go. Sweet as a nut, I think this will be. Oh.
Missed it some way inside there, and he's looking at double 4, and he's missed that some way outside. But James Wade, without hitting that treble, the Hammer knows he will be back.
Yeah, he's 6 starts at 70. It's a nice little cushion to have. Set it up. If you don't hit it, just set it up. That was a good turn 40 from James there. Obviously putting it to Andy.
It's a double 4 for the Hammer for the first leg of the match against the Wade throw, and it's there. Andy Hamilton grabs an early advantage.
Right in the middle as well, wasn't it, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
Right in the middle.
Michael van Gerwen, of course, could await the winner of this if he can get past Benito Vanderpas. That will be on the way. Later on this evening, we'll be seeing Adrian Lewis v Dean Winstanley next. Then it's Phil Taylor against Michael Smith. Cracking second round games.
Aren't they ever? It's, again, this weekend we're treated to some really, really top darts.
And that's top darts as well. James Wade with the first match on the match.
Well timed as well, because I mean James has immediately got a break back now.
Yeah, well, James came through against Gino Voss in the first round. It was a 6-3 win. He wasn't at his sparkling best by any means, but he got the job done. He was having a bit of a problem. There's a loose floorboard just where Andy Hamilton's just walked over. You would have probably noticed it earlier on. They did a bit of work last night to actually make it less squeaky and uneven.
There is one there. It's just in the join where the stage joins together. I was trying to find it every time I walked back and give it a kick. It worked, but no, there is one there. But I mean, we don't take no notice. I think, Dan, when you're in the zone, you just got one thing in your head, and that's just to hit the triples and the doubles you've got to hit. And it's easy to moan after the game once you've lost.
Yeah, well, James Wade did come through his, and as I say, a bit of work's been done. He did jump on that bit of the stage as he walked on stage earlier on. He seems to be happy enough with it at the moment. 60. And just 60, and despite hitting that 180 at the start of the leg, James Wade, the hammer has worked his way back into the lead here.
They're level pegging, really. I mean, after 9, it is a really big first visit there for James with the 180, and then Andy, I think Andy hit the 134 straight away. I mean, that's not a bad throw, you know, to come back at somebody who's hit a 180, 140, 134. It's always nice. You're never far away from it then.
Yeah, and he's on a 2-darter now, Andy Hamilton, and James Wade needs to find a treble to be on a 2-darter of his own. It's just 60.
He's not quite finding his range yet, is he, James?
No, not quite. We thought maybe that 180 at the start of the leg might be a signal, but you can see him looking a little bit puzzled at the back of the stage. Now, hammer, that's not where really where he wants it, where he went double-double, and that's...
See, now, I might have thought Andy would have stayed there then and just gone over the top a little bit, but... yeah, it must have been sat up a little bit more than what we could actually see. Oh, well, 1-2-1 for James. I mean, you normally at least get a shot, James. James at his best. Take it out, no problem. But even now, you'd expect
a shot at the bullseye at least, yeah. Well, the hammer is looking at double top here for a 2-0 lead. And that's exactly what he's got. Andy Hamilton.
Andy Hamilton. Third leg, James and both players. Game on.
Well, the hammer, he lost in the second round of Austria last weekend when he entered as the seed. He's the 16th seed here. He lost 6-5 to Ronnie Baxter. He's not won on the Euro Tour this year, actually, Andy Hamilton.
It's odd, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? A player of Andy's calibre hasn't won a match in the Euro Tours this year.
Particularly when he's been famed over the years of being so consistent, producing at a consistent level. But look, you know, everybody's subject to fluctuations in form. You only have to look at Phil Taylor this year. Yeah. It's not all been going his way.
No, it doesn't. And there's been a lot of winners this year in different events, and it's great to see, you know. And I think that's just the competitiveness now of the PDC. You can't say he's going to win because it doesn't happen that way no more.
Yeah, well, we were talking off air earlier on, mentioning Stephen Bunting, who came over to the PDC this year, won his second event here, and suddenly we find him qualifying for tour. Tournaments like the Euro Tour, throwing ton-plus averages, and it's just another one of those players out there who can knock out anybody.
Exactly. And you know, not being disrespectful to Stephen, that's the only way to look at him. He is another dart player. You know, put his world championship to one side, and that's the only way to treat him. I mean, my goodness, what a great dart player he is, and a complete asset to have with us, I think, and it's lovely to play against him. He's a cracking player. He just gets on and plays, very much like James, very much like Andy. Just get on, play the game. And needs to win this one now.
Oh, Andy Hamilton. Oh, he's just a little bit unfortunate there.
That's three very good darts.
42.
So 1-4-2 for James Wade. He's got a chance.
I think he'll stay there. No, he went over for the 14s. James does like his top, so.
Yeah, tops and tens, that's James Wade. When he's playing well, that double 10, I mean, there's no better hitter.
There's a little matter like that, but you know, it doesn't bother him. It doesn't. Nothing phases him. He just gets his head down and gets on with it. And if he does have a moan, he has a little moan to himself. Doesn't, you know, he's a great dart player, James, and he's got the right temperament, a lovely temperament for it, and so is Andy, a real scrapper.
Yeah, certainly is. I mean, the thing that typifies James Wade's attitude for me is when we were watching that incredible game between him and Michael van Gerwen at the World Championships. Michael van Gerwen hits a 9-darter, hits 8 perfect darts in the next leg, misses it for a consecutive 9-darter. Nobody's ever done that before. James wins the set.
and he doesn't even look at him. He thinks, oh well, you know, I'm just going to go on and do my thing. Absolutely brilliant. And you know, whereas a lot of players would be in total awe and think, wow, he's just missed his second 9-darter on the trot. Not James. Not interested.
Yeah, won the set. And you know what those legs are worth, Michael? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because you miss my son. He's great, Joe. I like his style of play. Gets up and gets on with it.
Yeah, tenacious. And he's in there fighting in this leg on the hammer throw as he looks to get the break back that he will need if he's going to go on and beat the hammer.
It's just 60 here won't do Andy any good. James is back in this leg and he's still stolen the throw. So that's a good big ton there, Dan. Big ton.
Yeah, it certainly was, but James Wade knows a ton or a ton 40 will give him a really good chance. Oh, that's not where he wants it, and he's switching down the board, and he's just got next to it.
He'll probably go back up now. No, he's staying.
60. And you require 154.
Lovely focus. Look at Andy. He's just so determined.
Oh, he
He'll
wants
stay
it.
there.
138. James require 141.
Good leave.
Yeah, certainly was. James Wade, these are the kind of shots that James Wade has made his career, taking out what it really matters. And look at this, it's going to be a James Wade special 141. Yes, it is! Have a look at that! James Wade, vintage stuff in the machine.
Brilliant darts. Never count the lad out of a game of darts, never. I mean, you see there, triple 20, triple 19, pulls in his lip, his bottom lip, gives it a little bite. It's like a constant... I don't know, I've never spoken to James about it, but I would think he does that. It's like a concentration thing, and bam, it's straight in the double.
Do you have any little physical things you do on stage, sort of a routine before you try to hit shots, just to try and get you in the right mindset for it, or the zone, or whatever you want to call it?
I do, Dan, yeah. I mean, I'd stand there, I'd always look down and always have a chat to myself. I also suck in my cheek, and I bite, you know, just the bottom of my cheek, or you know, just at the edge of the lip, and it's almost like it's saying concentrate, and it is. You know, it's a little habit probably, but yeah. So I always have a little bite on my lip or my cheek, and but it's not anything other than just to remind yourself that you've got to concentrate, and yeah, I think we all do little things. I mean, Andy rolls his darts around, doesn't he? You know.
Blows on his fingers a lot.
Yeah. Simon Whitlock, you see Simon do that quite a lot, doesn't he?
He certainly does. And look at this, James Wade. Oh, beautiful second 180 in the match for James Wade.
Good timing, brilliant timing there. I mean, if he holds now, then you know, that's just right for him. Andy needs at least a ton 40 now.
51.
Unlucky, just waiting triple 4. You know, after that 141, I can see this having a little poke at the ball at least here.
Wow.
He probably won't go for it.
Yeah, didn't need to with the hammer stuck on 216. And that's frustrating with James, isn't it? He can look like an absolute world beater one visit, and then he just has a little bit of a snooze. It's like he almost wants to make it harder for himself sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, he just loses concentration, a little bit of focus possibly. But it's a way of giving himself a bit of a kick at the backside. He likes that sometimes. You know, just come on, wake up, and off he goes. And he's pure class.
Well, again, he doesn't need to go for the ball route here. So, we'll see. Interesting to see which way he does go. He's gone for the 14s. Well,
43.
that'll leave him double top, which is his favourite. Splitting it to the double 10s as well, which is just devastating on, and the hammer, all he can do is try and put a dent in it, and a big fat one ain't going to help you much.
No, certainly not what he wanted first start.
77. James requires...
It's a double top for James Wade to go into the lead for the first time in the match, having gone 2-0 down to Andy Hamilton. And there it is. James Wade moves ahead.
Game on.
And the hammer with work to do here.
60.
Unlucky. Yeah, a bit of sweat on James's forehead. It is hot up there. There's 140 written all over it. Ooh.
Oh, well.
Kiss of death there,
It
Dan.
certainly was. Certainly was.
When James pitches it just there and it's sat up just right, that is a sitter for triple 20. That's nice for Andy. Lovely action. You know, he holds it, how he holds his dart is dead straight and it's aiming straight at the dartboard.
He brings it right underneath his eye. It's a very manufactured throw. He's not one of those natural throws, but very much like yourself, Justin. You know, a manufactured throw. I remember you telling me
60.
it's good enough for Phil Taylor. It's got to be good enough for me.
And he ain't done too bad, has he? No, I watch Phil sometimes, and you know, just watch how he stands and how he lines himself up. And if there's anybody to learn from, it's the gaffer.
100.
And that's always one of the things I thought with Andy Hamilton and you know, yourself and Phil. Is it almost harder to throw a maximum when you don't have that flow about your rhythm, as James Wade looks for a maximum of his own?
120.
Because, you know, you watch some of the guys, Vincent or Michael, they just throw that last dart. I mean, it's almost as soon as they've thrown the second one, if it's in the right area, that's gone. Gary Anderson's another case in point.
Gary, yeah, Michael Smith. You know, Michael's a class act, and you know, when he gets the first two in, you're pretty much sure that third one's going to clack him and bang, it's in. But no, it's honestly, I think once your eye's in, and with a steady manufactured sort of a throw, if you like, if the first one goes in, and then all you got to do is exactly the same thing next time, and it should go in. So it's probably just as easy. It just takes a bit longer.
Bit of graft. Graft that just-in pipe. And Andy Hamilton, well, look, we saw a 141 from James Wade. Oh, my word, Andy Hamilton, double 11 for a 142. What a reply this would be. And it's
right on the wire.
so close. But 100 isn't a gimme. James Wade, if he doesn't get the treble 20, he may go tops. Yeah. Oh, straight in. Oh, double 10 is favourite. Oh, now then.
And you require 11.
3 double 4. Gotta be for Andy.
Andy Hamilton must have thought that leg had gone when James Wade hit the treble 20.
He must have done.
But he's back, and he's looking at double 4 to level the match up. Then for double 2. It's there, and the first big roar from the hammer.
It's what he does, and he does take his chances, Andy. Very rare he'll miss his chances. If you give him a chance, he'll normally take it. And
99.
Not a bad start from James. 99. You know, obviously he would have wanted a 140 or 180, but
well, that's 2 darts that James Wade missed in that leg to go 4-2 up, and it would have been a 4th straight leg for the machine. And from that position, with that momentum, you know, he'd be a heavy favourite to go on and win. As it is, he's still the favourite because he's got the throw, but Andy Hamilton has stopped the rot. Oh, but look at this, just when he needs to, he comes firing back with another maximum. You're right, Justin. Just needs a little bit of waking up sometimes.
James is known for it, you know, and he will go off it, and when he is, you know, when he is going to sleep, if you like, you've got to hit him, and if you don't hit him, you're gonna feel it. And when he wakes up, look out, he's like a grumpy old dog just waking up from a sleep.
Yeah, he has gone through various nicknames in his darting career, James Wade. There was one awful one, Spectacular, because he wears specs. I don't think so. He's stuck with a machine, but the grumpy old dog, I don't know, that's a contender for me.
He'd laugh at that. 60. He's a unique character, James. He really is. He's a nice young man. He looks like Joe 90 with those glasses, doesn't he? He's like a mad professor.
It's a strong look. Strong look. Well, Andy's nowhere here, and James Wade looks like he's got a nice little stroll down to a 4-3 lead. But you never know. If he were to fire in a maximum, suddenly things change.
It's an interesting thing there, Dan. If Andy was on 167 or 164, then you could bet your bottom dollar James probably would have had a good poke at that 124.
Mm-hmm.
When you take your foot off the gas sometimes, double 10. Oh, that's incredibly close.
And that's incredibly it. 4-3,
4-3, James Wade.
James Wade.
Okay, going into throw first. Game on.
1 Double 10's been James's friend for so many years.
Yeah, he's won major championships off the back of his ability to hit double 10.
I think really on his day, James is the best double hitter in the game. That's very important 180 there for Andy. He really needs to find his scoring boots now.
That's his first one on the match, Andy Hamilton. James Wade has hit 3.
Yeah,
but the hammer just taking it leg by leg here.
He doesn't want to lose 5 on the spin. He'd be a little bit disappointed with, especially. Yeah, would be 5 on the spin.
Well, he did get 1 back. He was 2-0 up, and then he went 3-2 down. He stopped the rot and got back to 3-all. But James Wade has taken the lead again with 4-3. But look at this, James Wade coming back at him.
Would have left a bogey, wouldn't have left an outshot anyway, but it's always nice to hit it, just to get the other guy thinking, oh, I've got to hit a good score now.
It's a cracking leg of darts from both men so far.
Yeah, sure is.
Oh, look at this. The hammer, he needs to.
Yeah, he needs a 12 dart, 11 or 12 dart leg, just to get his confidence back up, and boom, off he goes.
And coming down from the 19s because he needs to leave himself a finish, and he's done just that, and it's 132. It's a cracking one. We've seen that this weekend already.
Yeah, Pete darts, I think, didn't he?
It was. Bull, double 16.
Yeah, good, great darts. Great darts.
He's not found it there, Andy Hamilton. He was looking for the treble. So, is James Wade, is he going to give us a second 1-3-2 finish?
You wouldn't put it past him, Dan.
No, you certainly wouldn't. Pete Dias went bull, double 16. If James Wade hits the 25 first, oh well, is it going to be another one?
No, I don't think so. No.
Oh,
that was a real awkward marker for James, I think.
Would you have gone for treble 14 there in that situation?
I would have done. Yeah. Sometimes you can hit the ball too well, and that was. I think that was more angled down for James rather than up. If I go right in the middle of the ball, I've got to move then. If I'm on the bottom of it, not a problem.
Oh, 2 missed darts from Hammer, and all of a sudden James Wade is looking at a 5-3 lead, and this would mean that he'd be throwing for the match in the next leg, and Andy Hamilton would have to win the next 3.
It's a big ask.
Oh, well, a 13 darter for James Wade. The Hammer had his chance in that one, but Wade was ready to pounce.
He won't be. Andy will be disappointed there missing the doubles, especially on that side of the dartboard. He does like it there.
Yeah, certainly when he was playing in the Premier League, he was absolutely lethal around that bit of the board.
He was, yeah.
And when we've seen him gone on to, UK Open final and the World Championship final, a lot of his success, I mean, that's, you always back Andy Hamilton. If he's got a couple of darts in his hand at a double, then you fancy he's going to take it out. Yeah,
he's so calm. He's so calm with it, Dan, and it's like inside you're flustered. I mean, he's hit 3 out of 9. 33% checkout rate, but he's unlucky. He could have had this wrapped up nearly now.
Well, it could be certainly a different complexion, but 5 out of 8 for James Wade is world class.
Sure is. 63%. I mean, you take that all day long.
Yeah, and the big one, that 1-4-1 that he took out to level the match and get a breaker throw. Absolutely stunning. And we shouldn't be surprised. It's James Wade. That's kind of what he does. He'll do a silly. His best visit of the game will come right when he needs it.
Yeah, a nice big check out or a real solid throw at a double, and bang. James can sneak along, and just go along steady for 12 darts, and all of a sudden take out a nice big finish. It's what he does. He's great under pressure. He's great on the doubles.
Yeah, well, we saw a very similar kind of performance from Brendan Dolan earlier on. He beat Dimitri Vandenberg 6-4, and Dimitri averaged 99. Brendan Dolan was 5 points off him in the averages, but he took out the right shot at the right time, including a 1-2-1 and a 1-6-1, both on the bullseye, and another ball finish in there as well. It was very, very special.
What a prospect that young man is. Lovely young lad. And he's going to be a great dart player, Dimitri.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. Well, the Hammer, he's trying to apply some pressure here. That's a great position of the first dart. He'd be so frustrated not to stay straight.
He's in trouble, I think, Dan, now.
And that might be it. It might be the drought for wins in the Euro Tour for Andy Hamilton, maybe about to continue. He's not won on the Euro Tour this year. Is James Wade going to send him home? Yes, he is. It's a 70 checkout. And James Wade's a 6-3 winner. He goes through. He will face either Michael van Gerwen or Benito van der Pas. They're on the way later this evening. Coming up, we've got Adrian Lewis against Dean Winstanley.